All right.
Parisi.
I remember Dietz from last season, so.
Yep. Johnson.
Yep.
Walters. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
Are we good to go?
You're ready, I'm ready.
You want to go at 4?
All right. I'm ready, man. I can't hear you out of here, so.
I can't hear you out of my ears, so I'll just have one off.
Oh, really?
I just assumed you wouldn't be able to hear each other. It's just fine.
Yeah. Like, I can hear myself, but.
Oh, well.
Charlie's mixer.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll have an ear open.
Yeah. Do you have a roster for FGCU and Clemson?
Yes. Not Clemson, but FG I do.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I won't give you then players to watch unless you have one for both sides.
Say again?
Do you have a player to watch for both sides, or just what you got?
I'm watching Jack Lee. Jack Lee has caught my attention lately.
All right. And let's just simplify it. Let's just do the story. Clemson won last night. Vandy 4. Welcome to the Panthers IceDen in Coral Springs, Florida. This is the quarterfinal playoff game in the College Hockey South Men's Division III playoffs. It's the 6th seed Clemson Tigers and the number 3 seed Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. Hi everybody, Devin Serra alongside Cam Sharilla with you rinkside. And Cam, Florida Gulf Coast, their first game of this tournament. Clemson finished up at 12:30 in the morning last night with a 4-3 win over Vanderbilt. But their head coach, Casey Brown, is feeling really good about their squad. Meanwhile, Malcolm Cameron is an experienced coach, and FGCU is ready to fly.
Yeah, this Clemson Tigers team has been something to watch out for. I mean, getting done last night super late. Don't know how much that's going to affect their performance, but they came down here to win, and I know the Tigers are ready, getting a big win, 5-3 over Vanderbilt, with those 2 pivotal goals in less than 20 seconds really being the difference of why they were able to pull away so early against the Commodores. And then Florida Gulf Coast, being one of the stories of this year for College Hockey South, first year in the conference, only playing 4 conference games, splitting a series with Alabama, and then dropping against South Florida. But they played a bunch of other teams around the country that have had a lot of skill in terms of many aspects of being a hockey team, such as Farmingdale State, Notre Dame. But this Florida Gulf Coast team is an aggressive team. They're a defensive team, and they are something to look out for.
They have been only climbing this whole season. They have made their way up to the number 15 spot in the country. Really 14 because Fairfield is in there, but an ineligible team at Nationals. So they have everything to play for. Conference title, Nationals. How do you think they approach it in this one? And give us some of your keys to the game for both sides.
Well, for Florida Gulf Coast, they have to keep playing defensively. They're one of the best defensive teams in the ACHA and in College Hockey South. They're just full throttle. I mean, like I said before, this team's first year in the conference, and considering that they went 22-9, their first year here is something to watch out for. And they just have to be fast-paced. I know that there have been a couple opponents this year that have been able to outspeed Florida Gulf Coast, but as long as they're able to keep that pace with their opponent and stay on the defensive like they have been all season, they got nothing to worry about.
You have to wonder how Clemson's feeling after a beaten and battered game. The late third period, Vanderbilt really put the pressure on them, but Casey Brown's staff got it done. Oliver Grinkin and company, Alex Wallace, and Will Van Sicklen, who still doesn't have a goal yet in this tournament, are ones to watch for sure on that Clemson side. We're just about ready to drop the puck in 30 seconds. And currently going on as well, Embry-Riddle, last we checked, was up big in the 11th place game over Vanderbilt. And coming up later today, of course, Tampa has to take on South Carolina. That's a big matchup. 2 teams trying to get into the national picture, and we'll see how that shakes out. Middle Tennessee takes on UCF, and boy, USF plays a really good Kennesaw State team today.
Yeah, no, there's College Hockey South. I feel like this year has a lot more parity. Tampa being one of the faster teams taking on, in my opinion, the best defensive team in College Hockey South, South Carolina.
There you have it. We'll turn it down ringside for the starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem.
today's matchup, the Clemson Tigers and the FGCU Eagles. The starting lineup for the Clemson Tigers. At forward, number 8, Will Rothstein. At forward, number 11, Sully Kopp. At forward, number 14, Troy Guvia. At defense, number 19, Callum Che. At defense, number 9, Matt Wallace. And in goal, number 31, AJ Frosty. FGCU is led by head coach Casey Brown. And the starting lineup for FGCU Eagles. At forward, number 4, Jack Lee. At forward, number 26, Nathan Walker. At forward, number 12, Matthew Walters. At defense, number 5, Jordan Campo. At defense, number 7, Chase Wakeman. And in goal, number 1, BJ Riccardi. The FGCU Eagles are led by head coach Malcolm Cameron. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise if you're able and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Starting netminders for both sides. First, the visiting Clemson Tigers. They playing as the away team. They turned to their new goaltender. We'll call him with 2 starts this year, AJ Faris, Middletown, Massachusetts native. 2 wins this year, and the last time he was in net was against South Carolina. Casey Brown told us he got his biggest win in his career against a ranked South Carolina team. For the FGCU Eagles, they turn to the potential goaltender of the year and certainly one of the best in the conference, BJ Riccardi, 15.50 record this year, 1.96 goals against average, .932 save percentage, and obviously you heard our starters. Cam, final thoughts before we get underway.
Well, Riccardi's been on a rail all year, and talk about the Clemson goalie. He was actually in goal when they got their win against South Carolina for the first time since, believe it or not, 2019. So that's a lot of momentum going Clemson's way. Let's see if it can carry into this game.
We're ready to go in the playoffs. It's the quarterfinal. Clemson and FGCU to start us. Day number 2. First touch for the Eagles. A quick pace team. They can fly around the offensive zone, but they're known for their defensive structure, and especially their captain, Jack Lee, number 4, in white. Eagles go from right to left in those white sweaters with the blue pants and the green trim. Clemson from left to right in the purple with the orange numbers and the white trim. Losing an edge down is Sully Kopp. He's a senior out of Needham, Massachusetts. Big for them this year, 18 points, but mostly as a playmaker with 15 assists.
Yeah, going back to Jack Lee, he's been one of my players to watch. He's had a pretty solid year, and the way I see it, it's just going to get more solid as time goes on.
Very different stories for these teams. Clemson, a very middle ground team as far as the College Hockey South standings, 8-7-0-0, 7-6-0-1, but FGC only played 4 conference games this year, being brand new. They're sort of the outlier, and why this format was decided by national rank. They had a really good regular season, 22-9-0 for the team from Fort Myers, Florida. Backing up in his own zone is Landon Cousineau out of Telluride, Colorado. Try to get it to the offensive zone. Cut off emphatically. Sean Keane for the Tigers. On top of the puck, trying to move it forward is Matas Kurta. Stolen away. A pesky forecheck. Gets in the offensive zone. Turnaround try. Nobody there except number 2 in white. Cousineau gets slammed to the boards. Cleaning up the dirty work is Palacio. He'll reverse Palacio, number 10 in white, and races up ice. Taken away by Brady Dumais, fresh out of Westwood, Massachusetts, with help on the dump-in. And Clemson needs their first line changes of the game. On comes skipper for FGCU, Josh. Lakeland, Florida product, 13 points. From the point, redirected! BJ, his first good stop of the game. Right in front of the goal was Will Van Sicklen.
That's what we expect with BJ.
Tournament. So Van Sicklen, who this year lit it up, Cam, 22 points, has an opportunity there. He can fly. Number 26 has the puck. Right side chance, and his shot was negated as he was lifted by the stick of Jerkovic.
And Riccardi just doing his thing. That's pretty much all you got to say about it. BJ Riccardi being one of the top goalies in the CHS, and right there's a prime example of why.
Yeah, very much their starter for most of the year. And talking with Malcolm Cameron, it seems like if this team is able to get in the Nationals, he's the guy all the way through, and you have to expect him to get some reps in a tournament that they could potentially, if they make the final, is 3 days. And that's what you have to win to go advance pool play. It's a 5-day tournament after with semis and finals, and ACHA National Tournament from St. Louis. They are currently the number 15 team in the country, one above the cut line, 16 go. Here's Campo out of his own zone. Wanted the stretch pass for Denise. He was intercepted. Taking over, Matt Wallace enters right side, past one defender, sharp angle try. BJ's got it with no contest as a clash happens in front between Wainman and Kopp.
Yeah, Kopp got absolutely leveled on that play right in front of Riccardi's net.
Yeah, we wonder about the energy level for Clemson. Such a late night game, quick turnaround like that. How difficult is it to get ready for another game after you just had one going into the morning?
Very difficult. I mean, sleep is a factor, and just making sure that you get adequate rest in more ways than one. I mean, ending a game past midnight and then playing one not even 12 hours later, it's definitely going to take a toll on these guys. But so far, Clemson holding strong. We'll see how long the longevity of their strength can last, though.
Head coach Tracy Brown for the Tigers. First year with Paul Cadenhead. Their head manager is Leah Marie Pereira. Very solid season for a team that has really had their fate kind of questioned. Took some time off due to some suspension by the school, and then they came back, and really they've been the surprise all of this M3 field. Number 6 seed. Some big wins this year against teams like USF, and they competed well with MTSU. Here's a chance at point blank. Right pad stop by Riccardi. Eagles have numbers. 3-on-2 develops the other way. Left side to the middle. Cut off. Deflected out of play. Neither out of the zone by Kopp, and that forces a line change.
Yeah, Jack Lee looked like he was going to be on a breakaway there.
Nearly did. Clemson to the offensive zone. Gus Hedrick at the point. Cycles it deeper. Caught by Franco in front, point blank range. And 3 Eagles take away the passing lane. Cade Harrison has it. Left side. Fed it for Palacio onside. He'll cut to the net hard. Palacio saved by Faris in the low slot and chipped out to the far glass. Look out, Palacio. That's going to be the first penalty of this game. Smashed into the far boards.
Talk about going back and forth right in front of the net. A great save by Clemson, and now the first power play of the game is coming.
They're going to get Brady Dumais here for boarding. And so an FGCU power play that has been pretty good, around 20% clip for them. Malcolm Cameron told us he likes to fly these guys very fast. A quick-moving puck team. Langen Rich can play anywhere, and he elects to play at the defensive slot, so you're seeing 4 forwards on this power play for FGCU. Lizon takes the shot. Farisi stopped it and is cleared out of the zone.
Yeah, another name of the game was speed for this team, so beyond being defensive, they got to be fast.
Early start, Jacob Langenrich, and solid 31 points. 13 goals, 18 apples. Palacio onside as a man in the middle. Goes to him there, backdoor, and a great defensive stand. That time in front of the net. Boy, they had an open chance, but Callum Shalley took it away.
Yeah, Palacio was kind of robbed on that play, but Clemson's counting their lucky stars that puck did not go in the back of the net.
Right, Callum Shea was right there to stop that puck in the crease. Not sure if Reese would have been able to get over in time. Face-off draw to the left of him. Jack Lee, their captain, digs in for FGCU. They bang away, and ultimately the Tigers come away and will send it the length of the ice. Wainman is back as the rest of his teammates hang out in the neutral zone. Alami and now and company come to peel out. The alternate captain from Fort Myers. Right wing connects for Palacio. Alami to the net. Good stop by Farisi up in the air. From the kick play, recovered. Campo, left side, Lee in front of the net, a save and no rebound given up. And a flurry of chances, and it looks like the Clemson netminers getting settled in.
We got some chirping from the FGCU bench.
Campo and Lee, no worse for wear. Minute to go in their first power play of this game. From the mezzanine ring, Devin Sayre, Cam Sciarella with you. Right side towards the net, deflected wide. Recycled, deeper, caught it for Lee. Gets it back. Campo wanted to drive it to the net, put it wide. Lone Tiger out there for the clear as play is whistled dead before it got out of the zone.
Great job by the Clemson penalty kill right now. 40 seconds left still on the power play for Florida Gulf Coast, but Clemson holding strong.
Officials giving a warning to Casey Brown's bench about changing. Put back that original line that was out there 30 seconds ago. Campo to the net, went off a leg in front. Another try, saved by Faris. A sharp angle.
Shot hit the skate of Colby Carey.
Carry out, playing good defensively. That's a senior, always reliable for a Clemson team that themselves doesn't play too badly on the penalty kill. And that forces a reset for Wainman and company.
Now Skipper's coming onto the ice, and we talked about Florida Gulf Coast being a defensive team. How about Clemson holding strong on their first penalty kill? As we got a whistle now. With just 1 second left on the power play, so the first power play kill is successful.
Yeah, all basically for 1 extra second. DeMay has to stay in the box, but FGCU maybe get a half second left in the face-off win. 13:54 is the time. The IceDen, Skipper wins the draw back. FG, time to set up, right side towards the net, blocked by his own man, Skipper. Clemson has a man off the bench quickly. Kokla trails the play. They chip it to the far corner boards. A battle ensues. Far official caught in the way. Langenrich driven towards BJ Riccardi. That one never got there. Steered wide. Up the glass, and FGCU is out. Forces a reset for Franco and company. They'll dump it in. Larson, first man there for the Eagles. Arlington Heights, Illinois native. As a whistle is called and a Clemson player is hurt. Looks like Owen Connors over there in that far corner. Now he'll get up and skate gingerly back to the bench.
Yeah, good to see he's got up though.
Looks like we might have lost a paper, Cam. Was that yours? Whistle shot wide. Hey, right off the hop. That one wrist wide by Callum Che. Langenrich with all kinds of pressure over him. Clemson, a good steal in front. Riccardi ready with the paddle.
Could sense that from a mile away, Riccardi could.
Matt
Great save.
Wallace. Yeah, very good one. Probably the best he's had so far to start. FGCU unsuccessful on their first power play, 0 for 1. Off the body of Skipper. Leads to his own entrance, right side. Trailing man, Langenrich is there. He'll recover. Get it deeper to the zone. Skipper will meet him on the opposite end here. Lakeland, Florida product. For Cousineau at the point. Fights through traffic. Help from the point now. Sails over top of the goal. Langenrich can't find it. Will Ralston to clean up. And Troy Gouveia out to the neutral zone. Taking over is Mason Jerkovic. Smashed by 2 players into the Clemson bench.
Yeah, Jerkovic took a shot right in front of the Clemson bench.
Now skate away, no worse for wear. Ralston takes the puck away from Cousineau. Couldn't glove it down on the far point. Nielsen after it for FGCU. Knifed into the deeper part of the zone. Moved along by Che. Eagles setting up some sustained zone time. Having clean break-ins. Maybe something to watch right now is Clemson's ability to block shots but not prevent the zone entries. Denise. Jerkovic defends right side. Matt Wallace rimmed around the far boards. Caught 2 by Sean Keane. He'll get pressed. Help coming from the back end by Matas Kurda. Eagles 3-on-2 develops out of that scrum. Nielsen has the puck. Left side. Pushed wide. In front, Delaney. First save by Freeze and sent the length of the ice. It'll miss the net of Riccardi, and that forces an icing.
What an incredible sequence there. I thought the puck was going to go in for sure, but too much traffic. I don't know if anyone truly knew where the puck was at that time, but sent all the way down and we got an icing.
So this one back into the Clemson zone, and you can kind of already sense it. Most of the puck possession handled by FGCU, and they've done a good job winning draws early. This is Campo with it. Intercepted. First Clemson Tiger to get on top of it's Gus Hedrick. Steered away by Sean Keane. Into the hands of Brady Dumais. And back behind the goal for East will leave it. Gus Hedrick. Walker stalks them. Alamian and Wayneman will just take that dump as they couldn't hold the blue line and go off for a line change. Half leg gone in this first period. We're still scoreless. Clemson won last night over Vanderbilt 4-3. FGCU, their first game of this tournament in about 2 weeks. They are number 15 in the nation, and these games will count for their national contention. So a lot is at stake for them. Clemson was a top 25 team all season up until the penultimate rankings. Wayneman and Campo to handle. Leisen looking for a breakout. Contested by Carey. He'll win that roll. Franco alone stood up. Wayneman got in his way. Sailed high by Campo. And Souza race. Johnson for FGCU against Carey going after. Leisen to help free it up. But it's Van Sicklen who takes it out of trouble. Connors falls to the ice. Van Sicklen throws it out to an open space to just get away from defenders. Saw his team was changing. They got fresh bodies now. Matt Wallace alongside Gouveia. Stolen by the Eagles. Lazan, Larson, Langenrich from the logo. Ralston backhanded it. Taking over is Harrison from Barrington, Illinois. 5 points on the year. It's somewhat of a deep FGCU team. There's going to be a race for icing. Won by Langenrich. It's on the goal line, but it's scooped up by Fariz. But it's a deep FGCU team, Cam, that you think of Ryan Alamian for most of it, Nathan Walker, but everybody else has roughly that 10-point clip mark, and that kind of tells you that they, at times, get goals when they need them from role players.
Yeah, everyone does their part. They do their job. They play their role. They do what they have to do, and then some.
Langenrich put that shot off of a Clemson leg. Feeling that one in the morning will be Sully Kopp, number 11 in purple and orange. Langenrich meets it at center ice. Doesn't slow it down the puck. Callum Che will put it back for Brady DeMay, the defenseman freshman. It's a mixed bunch Clemson team. We talked about some of their woes with the suspension a season ago. They bring back Oliver Grinkin, Colby Carey, some vets, but it's a lot of freshmen that do the work for them. Langenrich to the net, and Farisi gobbled it up with no rebounds.
And great play there by Bailey. I feel like more so right now, it's been Clemson gaining the zone more than Florida Gulf Coast, but Florida Gulf Coast has been on the attack, and Clemson has done a great job defending it.
Face-off, won by Clemson. Matas Kurta. Anthony DiBartolomeo for Clemson. Sails it wide of goal. Sean Keane is there. Jerkovic, poke checked. Nielsen with the handle. FGCU, the pace to this game has been pretty fast. We've only had one infraction on Dumais, who has the puck now for boarding. Clemson killed off that penalty with some clutch saves by their netminder, AJ Faris, making just his third start this year unofficially.
And the physicality of Clemson's really coming out. We've seen a lot of them take shots to the Florida Gulf Coast players, knocking them to the ground. As now both teams will send fresh skaters onto the ice.
FGCU back into the fray. Colby Carey, and it swivels on him.
Tie game,
Why
but
do they do
they've
that?
had a very aggressive first period, to say the very least.
Yeah, and you know, how much do you think that gains momentum? Look out, Alamian will keep your point in a second. Takes another shot for Risi. But look at all this pressure. I mean, does Clemson feel like they're getting settled in defensively, or is it FGCU pushing the envelope?
I think the way I see it is that Clemson has actually been in the FGCU zone more than FGCU being in the Clemson zone. But as much as FGCU has pushed the envelope, Clemson has responded. They haven't backed down.
Iced by the Tigers in this moment. And Faris, it doesn't seem like he's a netminder that moves around a whole lot. Great pad setup, by the way. But from this vantage point, I mean, he's a big guy. Don't have his official numbers here, but I'd guess he's about 6'5", 6'6".
He's a tall guy. I mean, those skates add those extra height, so he's got the height of a basketball player. Then you add those 3 inches on the skates. That just adds an extra boost for him.
Clemson's a team that carries a number of goaltenders. Josh Bailey, Parker Dietz, who's been their main starter, number 35 out of Pittsburgh, Parker Dietz. But they went with the fresh guy, Faris, and that's what Casey Brown has confidence in. Done a good job so far. This is Nathan Walker, one of the leading scorers for the Eagles this season. 38 points, 19 goals. Alamian tips it over the red line. They'll go in to chase after it. Lone Tiger there is Callum Che. He'll get pressed. Sharp angle try, followed by Faris. Getting slammed to the ice as Faris can't stop it. They say it's in. Poked home right on the goal line. 1-0 FGCU.
Wow, that's an unbelievable play by the Eagles. Clemson doesn't think it's in, but looks like they're going to have a discussion. But right now, the Eagles are soaring.
Faris looked like he put his glove down on it. One of the Owls got barreled over to that near post, and then Jack Lee came in and poked it through. But did Faris look like he had that in your minds?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I mean, from this vantage point, it looked like he gloved it down, but it looks like it might have already been in the net. And Jack Lee, one of the players to watch for me, knocks it in for the first goal of the game. Great play by Jack Lee.
That is a unfortunate goal for Faris, but how about Lee, their captain, to be right in the good spot to follow up that play and wait till really never give up until the whistle happened there. It's 1-0 FGCU with 6:20 to go in this first. The number 3 seed Eagles had one whale of a season entering these playoffs. Huge wins down the stretch over Purdue, a ranked team, number 23 in the country. Miami, Ohio. They're giving the goal to Alleman.
22, Tyler Larson.
So Alleman and Larson get the goals despite Jack Lee leading the line.
Period.
Yeah, I thought Jack Lee would have knocked that in, but couldn't even get an assist there, I guess. But
Yeah.
Alleman with the first goal of the game for the Eagles.
There you go. Out of St. Charles, Illinois, that'd be his 15th of the year.
And Liston almost had the second goal of the game for the Eagles, but a great pad save by
Left
Casey.
side, lane to shoot. Johnson, man in front off a leg to the low slot. They still jam away. Lone Eagle from behind, barreled over. FGCU fans want to hit from behind. They're not going to get one.
Yeah, looked like he was going to get called for tripping, but no call on the play. They're just letting the boys play.
That was Palacio getting barreled over. So some big collisions going on early. FGCU, we believe, Alamian scored.
Yeah, Palacio had a wide open net, and then he got tripped from behind, and I am a little surprised that a call was not made.
5 minutes to go in the first. Skipper pursues Brady Dumais for Clemson. They bang away out at the far boards. Pulled out. And the Tigers are out. Matas Kurta with speed. Right wing has one man going down Broadway. Gus Hedrick. Clemson tries to throw one on net. Another big block. That went right off the, looked like shoulder of Braden Miller. Gets back into play. Miller, great stretch pass to him. It's one man on him, and Gus Hedrick stands up all the way to the end wall. Langenrich comes in to support behind. He's got Skipper out in front. Taking away the puck is Dumais from the boards. Matas Kurta, one-timer from the point. Fought off by Faris. Langenrich and FGCU, all kinds of pressure hemming the zone. They get it deeper. Matas and this very tired-looking Clemson defense just trying to chip it to the neutral zone. They're out. They're going to get off the ice. Brady Dumais, the lone carrier, sends it in on Riccardi, who's going to hold, and we'll get a face-off draw in the Ice Eagles zone.
I think the fatigue from last night's game against Vanderbilt is starting to show for Clemson.
I mean, how difficult is that when you get stuck out there and you cannot chip the puck out of the zone?
Yeah, it's super difficult. I mean, with everything that they've gone through right now, it's only going to make things harder. I mean, for Clemson's sake, it's not just about chipping the puck or trying to gain the zone. It's just about how tired are you? I mean, like I said before, it's not even been a full 12 hours, and these guys are right back on the ice for another game.
It's a quick turnaround. FGCU has had a nice little break since their series with the Purdue Boilermakers back on February 7th.
Yeah, so it's been 2 weeks since Florida Gulf Coast's last hockey game, and it's only been a half of a day since Clemson's last. So conditioning, yeah, but it's also about proper rest, and it doesn't look like that Clemson is properly rested.
We're going to dig this out from the half wall to our left. Wainman holds it in. Denise went off the glove. That was prevented by Faris into the netting.
It bounced up by Bailey into the netting.
Boy, how much does Casey Brown really have to cycle 4 lines? It's a Clemson team that we know a lot of their scoring comes from their top 2. Meanwhile, FGCU, it seems like they're taking shots from everywhere.
Yeah, FGCU's just been on their defensive game. I mean, they're shutting down what Clemson's niche is. And if you shut down Clemson's niche, there's really not much to be said about the Tigers. As good as they are, if their best players get shut down, the true colors come out.
Matt Wallace tries to do something about that. Will Ralston has it for the Tigers. Rare offensive zone opportunity. We've got a whistle. Hard angle for us to catch there in that far corner, or near corner rather, of FGCU's end. Assume it went out of play. We're going to get a draw to the right of Riccardi. Troy Gouveia to dig in. Found room. Larson is there, tied up with Ralston. They cut it free. Lone Ice Eagle is Nathan Walker. With speed. Alamian, left wing. To the outside, take a sharp angle through the crease. Jack Lee is there. We thought scored, but Alamian has the most recent goal, number 11 in white. Head pass, Matt Wallace. Taken away. Walker to re-enter with Alamian on the right side. Lee, as Walker takes a spill. FGCU bench wants a call. Nothing comes of that. They're letting the boys play.
And he was getting held down there, but like you said before, they're just letting them do their thing.
Ralston dumping change for them on the Clemson bench. 2 minutes to go in this first period. Long chipper towards Johnson, and Brady DeMay has it. Steered along by McCurda. Went off the leg of FGCU's Lyson in the low slot. Gloved Lyson on the low crease area, and with help from the defensive Gus Hedrick, Clemson will melt it down.
Edgar Stecki, I thought, was going to tip that in. It almost looked like one of the Clemson players was going to tip in his own shot, but barely able to glove it down in time. With just 1:42 seconds left in the first period. Reese, excuse me.
Face off, won by the Eagles. Another one that they keep deeper to the zone. Palacio is there. Heading around, Gus Hedrick. Up top for Curda. Handling it, Jerkovich. Daniel Lyson, as it's called icing against FGCU. A rare opportunity for Clemson again.
Yeah, to take advantage of their mistake. Let's see if the Tigers can make amends for it.
1-0 score, the only tally by Ryan Alamian on a bit of a jamming play. They thought A.J. Faries might have gloved it down, but they elected. Alamian chipped it through before he could get a handle on it. Poked out of the zone, and a race will ensue. Paul Johnson was the man for the Ice Eagles. Handled by Colby Carey. Lyson and Carey. Palacio. Handled by Cousineau. Another handle. Thought there would be icing for a second, but it was touched past the red line by FGCU.
So no icing.
Sean Keane flies over the logo. Left wing, stood up. Knocked down by Jerkovich. Eagles have numbers. Palacio and offside. That time was Braden Miller. 32 seconds to go in the period. Oh, if you're Clemson going to the break, what are some things they have got to clean up here?
Take more shots. You got to take more shots on net. Gain the zone and take your shot.
Neutral zone has been controlled by FGCU so far in this game. A good face-off win for the Tigers as Callum Che will create chase. But Skipper and Wainman controlled. They'll go D to D. Campo looking for Skipper. Just too strong. Floats into the deeper part of the zone. Ready there is Braden Miller. Clemson packs the house. 10 seconds, it's out of the zone. Wainman and Campo looking for one more entrance. Long blue line chance, easily gloved by Faries, and that's going to do it for the period. So an FGCU controlled first ends with them in the lead, both on the score and the shots, 26-9 at the end of 20 minutes. And it's Ryan Alamian who got us started 6 minutes in. We'll resume in 15 minutes time. You're watching the College Hockey South playoffs. Number 6 seed Clemson, number 3 seed FGCU on College Hockey South YouTube.
It's like not compatible. I don't want it to be compatible. But I mean, I can make it work. But
we hit the second frame. Shots are 26-9 in favor of the Ice Eagles. Devin Sear, Cam Sharilla, quick takeaways. It felt like you said Clemson needed to get more shots, but they have had a hard time breaking into the zone. You know, for you, what is something that's really not going right for them right now?
I just don't think Clemson is really understanding how good Florida Gulf Coast defense actually is. Not to mention, beyond that, Florida Gulf Coast's offense has been rifling on all cylinders. Like I said before, they've outshot Clemson 26-9. 26 shots alone in the first period. Sometimes that's more shots in one period than certain teams in an entire game. And as for Clemson, they got to just be more aggressive on the offense. As good as their defense has been.
We'll flip sides. Clemson will go from right to left in their purple sweaters, the orange numbers, and the white trim. Clemson, or rather, Florida Gulf Coast left to right in those white sweaters, the blue pants, and the green trim. And first touched, who else? Nathan Walker. They have had a dynamo season with him, 38 points. We thought he was going to be more of a distributor for this team, in which he has been, 19 assists. And so Florida Gulf Coast has enjoyed a 3-on-1 right here. Walker, right side to the net, scores! Ready on the back door. That one looks like it'll go to Lee. 2-0, Florida Gulf Coast. What a strike that was from Walker. Nothing Fariz could do. He stretched out his right pad as far as he could, but you are not going to deny Jack Lee. We thought he scored that first one poking it home, but in the first it was Ryan Alamian, so that one you get the captain for.
That goal was 100% guaranteed. We saw that go in the net. There's no question about it. Nate Walker, how you doing?
Out of Lyndhurst, Illinois, 8th goal in his 31st game of both regular season and playoffs. Great two-way forward. 2-0 FGCU. Clemson has to answer quickly here. They played at 12:30 last night against Vanderbilt 4-3 to be in this spot, and perhaps they couldn't have asked for a tougher crack than this Florida Gulf Coast team that's fully rested, 2 weeks off since they played Purdue.
Is
Larson from the right wing carries, tries to get behind the goal. He's watched by Carey. Coming into the play, DiBartolomeo for Clemson. Has help. Knifed up but not out by Carey at the point. Shot taken wide of the left post. Harrison was ready. Eagles still hem the zone. Low slot chance. They look for options in the far wing. Paul Johnston. Backing up to it is Cousineau takes one to the net. Blocked in front by Carey. He'll skate wide with it around defenders. Tipped it over top of the glass. Stays inside though. Clemson again, another block, but they're still deeper. Lizen, good stop by Fariz. Spray to the far boards, taking over by Harrison. They get it for Johnson deeper. Poke checked by Keene. Into the air. Gloved. And pushed back into the zone again. Carey just looking for some room. This group cannot get out of their own zone, and now they'll have an exit. Just a beaten and battered team that is feeling the pressure from the speed of FGCU.
FGCU has lived in the Clemson zone so far. I don't think Clemson has spent any more than just a few seconds in the Florida Gulf Coast zone. I mean, we're almost 3 full minutes in, and most of those 3 minutes have been dominated in Clemson zone by Florida Gulf Coast. And right on my cue, the puck is actually sent into the Florida Gulf Coast zone.
This is looking a lot like a Canada versus Japan kind of Olympic game. TJ Skipper, Josh Skipper pressed. Puck went into the PA stand.
Could also relate to the United States and Italy game.
You know what, though? Italy competed very well in that. They had one heck of a performance from their netminder. I believe he's an Anaheim Ducks prospect. The USA, how about winning the Olympics for the first time in 46 years on the men's side in the hockey tournament?
And they call it a miracle, but that shot by Jack Hughes wasn't a miracle. That was just a perfect shot.
And the first time the men's and women's U.S. Olympic teams won in the same year at the Olympics. Just unreal stuff.
And ironically enough, something else to note from the Olympics was in the 80s, one of the final people scratched from the USA team was ironically also named Jack Hughes. And then Jack Hughes winning the gold for the U.S. in 2026. That's called storybook, Devin.
It's unreal. Here in ACHA, that's a far away kind of point to make, but hey, anytime we can talk about the NHL and our favorite players, we will. 16:39 to go in the second period. Devin Sarah, Cam Sharilla, our producer Whit Maxwell, camera person Danny Bohm, with you from the mezzanine rink in Coral Springs, Florida. First time we've had all 4 divisions under one banner, M2, M3, ACDC, and the women's division, to settle this season. We called this Van Sicklen, but it's actually Sean Bloomquist wearing number 26. Van Sicklen, to our knowledge, not in this lineup tonight. So that's who you see wearing 26, sends one in front, trying to look like a Van Sicklen play. Taking over for it is Shea. Behind the goal, intercepted by Chase Wainman for the Eagles. And they'll scurry out of the zone. Lee looked for a pass, but he iced it, as it was Matt Wallace getting there to the trapezoid first.
Yeah, now it looks like we're actually going to have some time for Clemson to spend in the opposite zone this time. They spent so much time in their own zone, and they finally get a little bit of breathing room. So an opportunity here with 16 minutes flat left in the second period.
I've been seeing a lot of yawns from these Clemson fans to the left of us. I think they might have had too many ginger ales after that Vanderbilt game last night. 4-3 win at 12:30 in the morning.
The ginger ale actually sounds pretty good about now if you're asking me.
Right? I'm pretty parched. There is a bar, you know. We'll assume you're getting a ginger ale. Here's Nathan Walker, right wing side. Sprays wide of the net, scores! Through the 5-hole! Nathan Walker!
Wow, Nathan Walker, how you doing? Talk about rifling it like a shotgun. Clemson just wasn't ready for that. And Nathan Walker was. 3-0 Eagles. It is absolute domination for Florida Gulf Coast right now.
He sent that last shot at the start of this period that scored 30 seconds in from Jack Lee, and Gal gets the apple. So 2 points for the leading scorer out of Parrish, Florida. Had a chance to meet with him on the College Hockey South podcast, and so much of what this program does is led by him and company. Look out, that's going to be a cross-checking penalty on, or hit from behind from FGCU. So they're going to go to the first power play for Clemson.
This could be something that Clemson desperately could take advantage of. I mean, they're tired, they're battered, but they're still in it. 3-0, they're down, but scoring on this power play could be pivotal to get the Tigers back in this game.
Just the second penalty of this game, and the first one against the Ice Eagles. So a Clemson power play that does okay. 7th in CHS this year, 19% success rate is to work. Kept to the outside, but a misplay as it floated under the stick of Sully Kopf. That forces a retreat all the way back to their own zone for Will Ralston.
I think I mentioned this before we got on the air, Devin, but about the power play kill for Florida Gulf Coast. There was a point in time where it was one of their weaknesses, but over time, their power play kill has become incredible. And right now, an opportunity for Jack Lee.
Lee waits for help. He's got Alamian coming down the middle, but that was taken away with the option. Good job by Anthony DiBartolomeo getting back.
Could have been a shorthanded goal for Florida Gulf Coast if Jack Lee would have broken out.
Clemson starting to try and re-enter. They've had a tough time, though, this period. Palacio takes out his man, and it's dumped by Campo. So already a minute gone, and this Clemson power play is done. Next to nothing in it. Here's their captain, wheeling and dealing. Trego Vea, and sent back immediately. That was Palacio.
That Clemson just trying to figure something out. They are desperate for a goal right now.
They've had a tough time at these near points. One man takes him out, and then a follow-up player clears it. That time they get a pick and roll.
From Clemson's point of view, anything helps. They just got to get it done.
Matt Wallace for Sean Keane behind the goal. Sent it out in front. Alamian was there trying to free it up. but it still comes down the ice. All the way back is Matas Kurta. Owen Connors, probably the best look they've had all power play. 10 seconds to go. One more break into the zone. Kurta kept to the outside by Lyson. Help from Colby Carey. And that's it. Out of the box comes Harrison. And 0 for 1 goes Clemson on their only power play. Hooked by Wainman. Looks up at the clock. Sees 13:19 to go in the second. Skipper. Miller. Onside. Man alone. Took the shot. Went off the leg of Wallace. Clemson gets to it. Govea. Southbury, Connecticut senior. Matas Kurta, a freshman, steers it away. Wayman is ready. Sends it back. Stolen by Skipper. All kinds of forecheck. FGCU. Fortunate bounce for Clemson. They've got numbers coming. Right side trying to toe drag. Dangle. Langenrich all the way to the goal. They all jam away at it. Still lose no whistle. And finally, they give it for their netminder. Wow, that was a tough sequence, Cam.
Yeah, Wayman and Wallace getting a little bit into it in front of the net. I almost thought the puck was going to get off of the skates of Wallace and hit the back of the net, but nothing going there for Clemson as Wallace is going to come back onto the side as now we've got fresh skaters for both teams.
Clemson really, you talked about trying to get more shots. There's an example of it. They just send one on net and then they try and get a giant cloudy crashing play. B.J. Riccardi gets the benefit of the doubt. So Langenrich just picked up a penalty. Let's see if we can get a signal on that from our official.
And I could hear down right below where you and I are standing. The Florida Gulf Coast bench is just chirping at the Clemson Tigers.
Sounded like it came after the play was already dead.
Yeah, they're having a discussion right now. So Jacob Langheinrich, is actually going to get 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike.
It's a rare penalty to take, but Clemson will take it nonetheless. Right side, one-timer! Saved by Riccardi.
B.J. Riccardi doing his thing. That's all I could say. It's as if he could sense where the puck is going to go. It's like he's using the force.
We said his numbers before the game. We'll give it to you in a moment again. Will Ralston, right side, in the middle. Quick shot. Sticked away by Alamian. Clemson working on the far wing, calling for the points. Ralston, they go across the wing. Left side, Govea. Ralston wanting the puck emphatically. He'll cut it deeper, but the only man there was a white sweater. That was Campo. B.J. Riccardi, 15-5-0, 1.96 goals against average, .932 save percentage. You make the case for your goaltender of the year. Dropped it for Govea. In front, has a chance to shoot, and gobbled up.
Yeah, Riccardi being, like we've said before, one of the best goalies in College Hockey South. I mean, you throw him in there with guys like Luke Ench, Ryan Patrick Koch, Aiden Kopech. Those are goalies to watch out for.
Yeah, Aiden Kopech with a really good MTSU team. It's taking on UCF in a few moments today.
Along with Ryan Patrick Koch
of
USF taking on the Kennesaw State Owls, getting a huge win yesterday over the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, some big goals. Hat trick for Reese Legault led the way. Rebound given up, another shot, and a couple big saves for Riccardi. And his defense clears it out of Silly Cop's reach.
A lot of pad saves from Riccardi as well. Just perfect place at the perfect time. Riccardi just on a rail. It's as if his eyes never leave the puck.
Matt Wallace, the deeper part of the zone. Palacio takes over. 30 to go in the minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. And it's whipped down the length of the ice by Larson. He'll go off. Replaced by Miller. Clemson trying to break out one more time. Probably their best looks of the game on B.J. Riccardi. Harrison takes a stick up high from Wallace.
And Wallace got two team there.
And they're going to get him for that. Harrison trying to enter the zone there. Just got a little careless with his twig. So 6 seconds of 4-on-4 and then a power play for FGCU.
And this is not what Clemson wants. You want to be man up, not man down. Already being down 3 goals, being down an extra man is not going to help your case. As Langenrick is waving to his buddies from the penalty box.
They have a lot of fun on that FGCU bench. They've been hooting and hollering, no pun intended.
Having great camaraderie.
Wainman, good shot, and Faris melts it down.
Yeah. And the power play is now expired, or the 4-on-4 now has now expired. And for the next minute, 53 seconds, Florida Gulf Coast will be man up on Clemson. See if they can add a 4th goal to their resume.
Horn sounds.
As for some reason,
Whoops.
Yeah, the horn sounded.
Somebody hit the wrong button over there. Our great volunteer Florida Atlantic staff hosting this tournament at the Panthers IceDen in Coral Springs. Day 2 of 4 here. Every
nice city
division
located
playing.
in the Fort Lauderdale area.
Yeah. Beautiful area to visit. A lot of these teams, what's so great is it's not just a playoff tournament. They kind of make this sort of their getaway, their spring break, if you would.
Make a weekend trip out of it. Playing ice hockey and having fun with your teammates and friends.
A lot of teams, the last time they'll play together. Wainman, that one's a good one through traffic. No! In and out of the hands of Faris. And FGCU punches it home.
Number 4, Jack Lee. Like I said before, we talked about him in pregame. He's been my player to watch, and he delivers. Number 4 gives Florida Gulf Coast their 4th goal of the game. What a play by Jack Lee.
Their power play cashes in, and Trey Govea upset about something with that official, captain for Clemson. But this one is starting to seem a little insurmountable for Clemson. They have really had no energy besides that power play they were gifted from the unsportsmanlike.
I'll tell you someone who's pretty happy right now, Jack Lee, tipping in that goal, making it 4-0. Number 4 getting 4.
So Wainman picks up the secondary. That was another one that Faris had, but he didn't. And now it's out of play into the Florida Gulf Coast bench. And boy, if you're Casey Brown right now, how do you put out the fire?
Prevent it from growing. They say fight fire with fire, but right now the fire's growing, and he's got to figure out where the extinguisher is.
You have to wonder who's going to make up for that Van Sicklen, to our knowledge, absence. He usually wears 26, but today that's Sean Bloomquist wearing that number. They've had scoring this year from DiBartolomeo at times. Sully Kopp has 18 points on the year, but he's been a bit ghosted, a bit screened by the defense of Florida Gulf Coast. They just look like themselves completely. Here's a chance in front, low slot, banged out. It'll be thrown Ralston towards the area of Franco. They can't get a clean entrance and give it back to the Ice Eagles. Halfway gone in this hockey game, 4-0. Florida Gulf Coast strangleholds. 2 goals from Jack Lee, latest on the power play, alongside Nathan Walker, and started by Ryan Alamian, all the way back in the early first. Delaney, nice cross-ice pass, connects. Shadowed by Govea, takes out his man to the far boards. Some big collisions happening on that far side of the ice. Clemson with an exit, Sully Kopp. Ahead with Concannon. Dumais. To steer it away. Nielsen handles the puck in the neutral zone. Cousineau. Chased by Ralston. Skipper put it in the zone. Clemson showing a box formation. Uses their numbers. Cousineau at the Panthers logo. Re-enters. Drops it off left side. Shot towards the net. Blocked by his own man in Cousineau. Skipper for Jerkovic. Ahead, Clemson steals. Sully Kopp, we just mentioned, has got to find a way to get going. Kept to the outside by Miller. Pressing the boards now. Brady DeMay to help with that digging play. Puck floats up the boards towards the point. Held on side by Kopp. Help in the middle, trying to get deeper was Ralston. And Langenrich and company will skate out with it. He's the lone man as FGCU was changing. Puck off the end boards is handled, and Farisi scoops it up. 8:06 to go. We talked about some of the other games going on. Cam, what is your game you're looking forward to most? And before I ask this, that's not USF.
Well, it is totally something I am looking forward to, but in all honesty, South Carolina U-Tampa is my game to watch right now. U-Tampa putting the whooping on Embry-Riddle last night 5-1, and South Carolina, who was last year's AAU D3 national champion, back again being the number 4 seed, and they're one of the best defensive teams in the league, like I said before. And U-Tampa is a fast and aggressive team, known for getting all those shots on net, and that's the game that I'm looking forward to the most. The 5 seed U-Tampa against the 4 seed South Carolina Gamecocks. It's going to be a fun one, to say the very least. And that game is later on tonight, so it's the final game of the night. So did the Spartans take down the Icecocks, or did the Cocks take down the Spartans? We'll just have to see.
Kopf. Sean Keane to the entrance. Negated by Lysen. Palacio. Far wing entering Johnson. Takes one to the net. Fariz sticks it aside. Johnson paid the price. He's in a battle with Matas Kurta up the half boards. Off on the change, Alamian comes on the ice. They tie it up in this near corner. Alamian has a lane to shoot if he wants it. Put it wide of goal. Clicked at his own rebound off the glass. Rimmed around up to the boards. Walker in the middle for Lee. Joke Lee, nice poke check. Active stick by DiBartolomeo. Alamian has to retreat. Walker, good play in at the red line. And Alamian has space. He'll have a look to the net to the backhand. Great pad stop by A.J. Fariz.
Great play by Fariz. I honestly thought that Alamian was going to get that in. He made a great move. I'm going to use a USF analogy. He reminded me of Grant Dietz in that instant, but a great pad save.
Well, that's a textbook breakout, too. You get a guy right at the red line to chip. That winger drives the middle of the ice, and you get all of a sudden a guy alone. And boy, Clemson just doesn't know who to cover right now. That's a good save again from their netminder off Walker, trying to keep them in this game. It's been all Florida Gulf Coast here, past the halfway mark of this hockey game. Walker stands up his man in the way. Concannon trickles to the low slot. Glove down by Concannon, and he'll backhand it to a man looking for Shea to the net through traffic. Never got there, and it's cleared out, iced by Nathan Walker.
Looks like Clemson actually has shown some aggression, which is good for them because they've been rather sluggish.
Now, you like to see a little bit of fight, if nothing else, for a squad that I don't think anybody predicted would be in this kind of seeding. They are a ranked team for most of the year. If this game is to get away from them, it would still be a very impressive mark to win a playoff game, to be highly seeded, and it's a good sign for the future. They have young guys. That trickles in, and it's gloved down by Riccardi, who takes exception. We got some shoving going on. That's Matt Franco in there for Clemson.
Now the linesman's actually telling some of the FGCU players to get back on the bench. Riccardi was throwing some hands there with some of the Clemson players, but didn't want the situation to escalate.
And the last thing you want if you're an Eagle is just to get in these post-whistle scrums. And Clemson's a group that they play with a lot of emotion. They tend to have those kinds of things happen. 6:03 to go in this second period. Draw to the right of B.J. Riccardi. Nielsen digging against Franco. Slides towards Riccardi and will do it again.
Talk about a quick glove save. I think that might have been 1 second at most, and then Riccardi jumps on the puck.
Won this time by the Tigers. At the point, carried to the net and swallowed by Riccardi.
Make that another one. 2 quick ones. Boom, boom. So another face-off in the Florida Gulf Coast zone. Could third time be the charm here?
You can see how Clemson now, they might have listened to you a bit. They're trying to do whatever they can to get to the net. We got 2 wingers fighting in the near wing. They'll all come away, but taking a slash there was a Clemson player from, that looked like Aiden Denise getting into it. Big hits being laid out. Now Jankovic getting into it with Franco. Cooler heads prevail. They'll all get away. Clemson has to mount some sort of attack to keep themselves in it. It's 4-0. 3 goals in this latest frame. Cousineau, look out, we got some fisticuffs going on, and that's Franco over there. He just got into it with 2 more players. Now a helmet comes off.
Yeah, Nelson's getting into it too.
There's 2 guys grabbing. And boy, all of this was brewing for the last minute and a half there, Cam. And that's Aiden Denise blowing kisses to the Clemson spectators. And Troy Gouveia and a bunch of Clemson players don't like it. Sorry if you picked up any of that language.
Yeah, number 14 on Clemson dropping a bunch of cursing bombs to the opposing bench.
They're putting Landon Cousineau in the box along with a Clemson player. That is going to be Franco. So we look to have offsetting penalties here.
Yeah, so 4-on-4 hockey for the next 2 minutes with 5:21 left in the second period. It is still 4-0 Florida Gulf Coast.
Gouveia is going to come in to get an explanation with Sully Kopp.
Dancy's entering the ice as well. Jack Leon is too.
That's not surprising. Denise blowing those kisses to the Clemson spectators. He might get an extra penalty here, and we'll have to wait and see how they judge it all, but that could be a power play coming for Clemson if they offset those 2 players for roughing. And Denise and, or rather, Franco and Cousineau. But 2 Ice Eagles sit in the box. Jack Lee, captain for the Ice Eagles, sits in the far wing. Kim Sharilla breaking this one down. You see in the first how Clemson, even though they were being outshot 26-9, just kept it to a 1-goal game. And then they had that power play chance. A number of shots on B.J. Riccardi came up big, but that was it. And I asked you it once, but I'll say it again. I mean, what is Clemson not doing? And versus that, what has Florida Gulf Coast done so well that's prevented them from being in this game?
Florida Gulf Coast has just played their game. They haven't made any pivotal mistakes to where it's cost them. And for Clemson, not only are they fatigued, but they're just starting to get chippy. I mean, between what happened last night and that scrum in the middle of the rink just a few minutes ago, Clemson is just, I just don't think they're in the proper headspace either. Because not only are they getting outplayed, but I think there's some mind games going on with Florida Gulf Coast, and it's really starting to irk the Tigers. So they gotta figure something out, because if they don't, like you said before, Devin, it's already grim enough that it's 4-0. If this lead increases any more, it's going to get really bad for Clemson, and it could get to the point where the lead could become so large that it becomes insurmountable.
They're going to have the announcements here, but this is a Clemson power play.
So we'll see if they can benefit from it. Because at this point, the Tigers need something.
So they gave them all roughing penalties there, Cam. But you said it. They've got to have something. This is it right now. 5 minutes ago in the second, they're down big.
Anything helps, like I said before. Just, if you're Clemson, your objective, take the puck, gain the zone, take the shot. It's as simple as that. Take the puck, gain the zone, take the shot.
Gouveia at the point, dumps it in. Near wing, it'll be Met. Shea in there. Handled by their captain, Gouveia. They post up at the point. Sully Kopp calling for it. Left side is Ralston. He'll get the puck. Looks to the net. Fakes the shot. Gets it deeper to the zone. Pressed by Harrison. They'll cycle it back. Gouveia to the net. Off the left post.
Wow. Unbelievable. The closest opportunity there for the Tigers. Spinning puck just got away from him.
And Jack Lee is going to slap it out of the zone emphatically. That is a killer, as they had Oliver Grinkin right on the doorstep, and it wouldn't go. 47 to go in the man advantage for the roughing penalties. The 2 that FGCU picked up, offsetting, and then the extra from Denise. Kopf in front of the SeatGeek logo. Enters the zone. He'll take the puck himself, trying to dangle past the defender. Larson sticks with him. Retreats back to Gouveia. Bounce it across for him. Ralston wants it again. Kopp with the shot. Blocker saved by Riccardi. And the Eagles send it the length of the ice.
At 13 seconds left on the power play is Palacio actually lost a stick on that play, got it back.
Clemson has one more chance to re-enter, but here comes Cousineau out of the box.
Yeah, Palacio absolutely decks number 4, Owen Connors for Clemson, as now we have a whistle for icing.
And out comes Matt Franco, along with Cousineau, and everybody will go back to their respective benches. The Denise, 3:13 left in the second. Another Clemson power play that fails, and they are now 0 for 4 in this game on the man advantage. Getting pretty badly outshot at the moment. We're looking at 41-23. But FGCU, they have been looked so impressive.
Yeah, their defense has shut Clemson down, and their offense looks like a juggernaut right now.
They were kind
41
of asleep.
shots on net for Florida Gulf Coast. That's absolutely mind-blowing, considering that we're not even 2 full periods left. 2 full periods in, pardon me.
Cousineau works the puck free. Poke check, flies into the air. He'll get the puck back from the logo and skate into the zone. Once and twice, taking whacks.
He hit the skates of one of the Clemson players.
That's retreating back with it, Sean Keane. That ice is looking really tight right now. Alamian takes it out of the neutral zone. Wayman plays it back from his own trapezoid. Alternate captain Alamian scored the opening goal of this game. He'll race with speed. Nathan Walker on his opposite wing. Good job by Brady DeMay to stick with him all the way to the end wall. DeMay gets up. One Clemson player to clear the door was Grinkin.
Captain Jack Lee back out on the ice for Florida Gulf Coast.
Off the bounce, Riccardi's going to make the safe play and just create a face-off in his zone. 2:05 is left in the second. And also going on today was Tennessee and Alabama in the 9th place game. Alabama up 2-1 in the third. And USF and Florida Tech in the ACDC game. Florida Tech leads 1-0 in the first. And so on, it's going to be called icing. Interesting enough, Tennessee, talked about Kennesaw State earlier, a dominating win 6-2. That's a Tennessee program that's had hemmed with an awkward schedule, kind of like this Clemson team. For some reason, that belt of teams, they started the season a month later than everybody else. Tennessee has played, I think, 10 less games than this FGCU team and others. And they still found themselves in a close game, and had it not been for Kennesaw State and Reese Legault just taking over, they were in that game yesterday.
Yeah, it was super unique to say the least. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I know Clemson actually had some scheduling conflicts last season as well, and having it again this season. But the fact that they're still in that position to where they're highly enough ranked to make the conference playoffs is still very commendable from that end.
There's a chance. Larson to the net. Flashy glove stop by A.J. Faris.
Yeah, I bet he feels pretty good making that nice glove save.
Alamian moments before that got decked to the floor by Oliver Grinkin. You can see him get up and hop up quickly after that. The Tigers with 129 have just been a slow crawl. After those offsetting penalties, time really, unfortunately, goes slower when you have a game like this. All this start and stop, and FGCU still holds the strangleholds. This is Braden Miller after it. Larson for the Ice Eagles helps from this half board. Taken over is Gus Hedrick. Intercept by Harrison, holding the point. Getting to it, DeMay. Pinched by Miller. Skipper up the boards. The Tigers and DeMay. Handle. Sandwiched by Skipper. And Harrison calling for it to the point. Stick in the way of the shot. Right side. They'll have a lane. Off the goalpost. That was Ralston. He wants it back. They're not going to wind it for him. Backhand try, and Riccardi gloves it down from Dumais' attempt. Now, I don't know if you noticed, Cam. I mean, Ralston, he looks very disgruntled. He wanted that puck for another chance to shoot.
He slammed his stick on the ground when he knew that shot actually went wide to the net, but he wanted it back. I know he's thirsty for that hit. He's got to get something. This Tigers team is so close, despite the fact that they've been down the entire game. They are close. I can almost feel it in a way, but they got to keep executing.
There is a penalty on the board on FGCU's Josh Skipper. So the 5th power play for Clemson, and this game's coming up. They're 0 for 4.
Yeah, and so far Clemson's has actually lessened the mistakes that they've made in this period. Florida Gulf Coast has made a lot of penalties, but despite all the opportunities for Clemson, they haven't capitalized on
traffic.
them.
Trying to cash in. 22 to go in the period. They're going to swing it across. Kopp catches it. They'll find it under his swing. Takes a one-timer wide of goal. Recovering is Ralston. They'll have another attempt. Down deeper for Govea. Calling for to the point. Ralston. They take a shot to the net. Blocked by his own man in front. That looked like Kopp. 1 second left. That's it. Clemson will start the third with a power play, but an emphatic second comes to an end with goals from Jack Lee, 2 of them, and Nathan Walker have put a stranglehold. They are out shooting Clemson 42-24 in this M3 quarterfinal game.
Talk about an exciting period. It's been all Florida Gulf Coast. And we're going to find out how much fight Clemson has left. But 2 periods down, 1 period to go. Your score is 4-0 Florida Gulf Coast.
Resume in 15 minutes. You're watching the College Hockey South Playoffs live from Coral Springs. Florida Gulf Coast leads. As we rejoin the fold, Devin Sarah, Cam Sharilla in this quarterfinal playoff game. And, you know, Danny Bowman, cameraman, just asked, is this being Florida Gulf Coast being better or Clemson looking flat? And in your mind, what does it look like?
In my mind, I feel like it's a mix of both because this Clemson team is a lot better than they're playing. And as good as this Florida Gulf Coast team is, I, in a way, have not expected Clemson to be this sluggish. I get last night they were up really late, like we've mentioned in the beginning of the game before, but I think it's a mix of both. Both Florida Gulf Coast playing better and Clemson being sluggish. But Clemson has still shown fight. We just got to see how much fight is left. With 20 minutes left to go and a power play for Clemson still going on, it's going to be 5-on-4 for the next minute and a half. So we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of that and possibly get their first goal of the game to possibly close the gap between them and Florida Gulf Coast.
Oliver Grinkin rang the iron late in that second when they were on the power play, but it wouldn't go. This is, for all intents and purposes, the game for them, but credit Florida Gulf Coast and Malcolm Cameron for having a great plan. 1 minute to go. Sitting in the box is Josh Skipper. Will Ralston carries over the Panthers logo. Cuts wide. Caught. Across Govea to nobody. Little mental error. Alamian. Deeper to the trapezoid. Stood up by Govea. Reverses field for Jack Lee. 2 goals in this game. One of those on the power play has been a big reason for their domination on the scoring sheet and the shots.
Yeah, Coach Cameron.
43-24.
Yeah, Coach Cameron's got to be super proud of his guys. I mean, shutting down the offense and the defense. And right on my cue, great goaltending from Riccardi as he makes a great pad save there.
When he's had to be good, he has been good. And for Malcolm Cameron, talking in pregame, such an interesting path for him. 15-plus year coaching career in pro hockey. He's the former coach of the Wichita Thunder in the ECHL. And that brings a lot of structure. And one thing that I thought was so interesting, he said these guys that come from junior, that is okay, good, AA, some AAA, these players had to be taught structure. And when he came in, they play like a pro-style team.
And that's exactly why Florida Gulf Coast has prospered so much this season. And, you know, they don't make many mistakes, but when they do, it's more so of the little things. But they play like a professional squad, like you said, and that's why that these Eagles have been so good. And Daniel Lyson just smooth like pudding for Daniel Lyson. It's 5-0. Like I said, at the end of the second period, this lead is now starting to become insurmountable. I think I might double up on what you just said before about that 3-headed monster. It's 5-0 right now. This is more like a 5-headed monster if you're Florida Gulf Coast. And right now, the Clemson Tigers have had absolutely no answer for this domination play from Florida Gulf Coast.
They have shown up as a playoff contender, and I don't know about the rest of the national field, but they have better be on watch about these Eagles.
Yeah, if you're a team
good to see Polanco
like Middle Tennessee or South Florida, watch out for the Eagles because they have been on a roll.
They almost got another there from Braden Miller. Rolling in this one. Jerkovic catches it along the far wing, forks it to the end wall. They'll take some hacks, Colby Carey. And play it into the netting. That's going to stop play, and I mean, if you're the other side of things, Casey Brown, a difficult schedule this year. Remember, this Clemson team actually beat USF back in October. They had a great series with FAU. First time they beat South Carolina in a number of years. What do you think is a takeaway from this Clemson Tiger team that you can observe?
Well, at the time, I feel like that Clemson was a lot more structurally sound. I do know that the first game that USF lost to Clemson, USF was without their star player, Grant Dietz. Now, taking that away, it was still a huge win for the Tigers. And getting that win over South Carolina, though, was a big momentum boost coming into the tournament. So I feel like that Clemson was a lot more structurally sound then, and they had essentially a lot less of an issue with things in general. Like, there was no fatigue, there was no underlying factor of why they were performing rather poor, but for today, they just have not delivered on any of their strongholds.
They're on the defense. Ice Eagles pouncing. Nielsen smashed his man to the boards. Wainman takes over. Races past Walston. Gus Hedrick to defend. Haley, Idaho native for Clemson. Getting roughed up. You see Ralston, despite this Ice Eagle team being on paper smaller, they are a physical bunch, and man, the pipeline is strong. Their M2 team is number 1 in the Southeast. They advanced the regionals without much of a contest, and they are right now the national favorites to win it all in men's Division II.
Yeah, right now, you are totally right about that. I remember back in October, I was actually in Fort Myers overseeing one of the Florida Gulf Coast USF games, and before that game was played, I was actually watching the M2 team play against the Utah Utes, and they absolutely blasted them in a 10-1 victory. So that just goes to show how good that Florida Gulf Coast is. Not just for M2, but for M3 as well. The Florida Gulf Coast hockey program is just super skilled, super aggressive, and these guys know what to do when they lace those skates up.
Some good stops in that last sequence by A.J. Faris. Clemson is out on a line change. Riccardi plays it from the boards up to Aiden Denise. Retrieved back by Chase Wainman of Fort Myers. Ryan Alamian got the scoring started in the first. Loses sight of the puck, now finds it in the corner. Pursued by Callum Shea. Stands him up, far wing, help from Dumais. Clemson racing back and forth, having to reverse field. Nathan Walker is in there, 26 in white.
As number 22, Tyler Larson just lost his footing at center ice and fell down, but he's back up on his skates.
Nathan Walker from the trapezoid. Whips it around the boards up to Jack Lee. The captain, 2 goals in this game. Handled by Matt Wallace. Settled down by Concannon. Up to Matt Wallace. The sophomore takes one on net. Steered aside by Riccardi. And an ice by the Ice Eagles. Played back to their own zone. 14:55 to go in the third. And coming up next on the mezzanine ring, Kennesaw State and USF. 6-2 win for the Owls last night over Tennessee, who just about wrapped up their M3 ninth place game with Alabama. Alabama leading in that one, actually 2:19 to go. Alabama with a 2-0 lead, 2-1 lead. And how about USF though? Number 2 team in this conference, and they are just about locked in at nationals. There's a chance in front, stopped by Riccardi on DiBartolomeo. Pressed by Alamian. Lies in, steers it out of trouble. Clemson takes over. They contest for it at center ice. Sean Keane. Johnston. In front for a race and steered away. Once again, shot to the net. Hit a leg out in front from the end glass. Callum just decked a man behind the goal. Right side chance. Another great stop. Faris getting peppered all over the ice. Jerkovic for Cousineau. Wide of the goal. From the far wing. Collected. Another lane to shoot for Lysen. Low pad stop again by the Clemson netminder. Matas Kurta. Tell you what, Cam, without that Clemson netminder playing the way he is, it could be 11-0 right now.
It would be a boat racing more than it already is now. I completely agree. But like I said before, Clemson just looks fatigued right now, and Florida Gulf Coast, they look unstoppable.
It's a good goaltending lineage right now at Clemson. They have a number from Parker Dietz, Josh Bailey, A.J. Faris. There's one into the pads, in and out of his hand. Taken out of trouble by Colby Carey. Sully Kopf will hook. Fed for Govea. He's hassled by Palacio. Campo.
Spun him completely around.
Ralston chasing him. A lot of chasing around. Into the glove. Riccardi's got it.
Yeah, too easy for Bakari. He sees it. He snatches it like prime Odell Beckham Jr.
Any hockey fans do that. Track a game themselves. But it's interesting. You can now. There's a quick one off the face-off dot. Stopped by Riccardi on Ralston. Saucered way in the air. They're looking for the stretch to Langenrich. It's gloved out by a Clemson defender. They re-enter the zone. Sully Cup with a chance. Another good way. Campo off his backside from the boards. Played by Govea. Poke checked. It's a race for Wainman. 2-on-1. Miller in the middle. Has it. Fed it. Shot. That one steered aside. Good job by Faris. Gets help from a bouncing puck, and it goes into his paraphernalia.
I thought Jerkovich was going to go around for a wraparound, but Clemson gloves it down in time.
Man, you just see how quickly the Ice Eagles create a scoring chance. Credit to this netminder. Locked in no matter what the score is at this time. And like we said, the other games following USF and Kennesaw State is Tampa and USC, and then we finish it up with Middle Tennessee and UCF. And the Knights, they had a 9-2 win over Alabama yesterday. Two separate Knights had hat tricks in that game.
Yeah, the Knights taking it to the Alabama Frozen Tide, just completely dominating them as...
There's our race for Oh, there, Sean Bloomquist. Nice moves. And tied up with a defender was Kakla in the middle of the ice.
That puck was a little bit too far in front of him. Had he been there, that net was open. Could have given Clemson their first goal of the game.
Nothing comes of it anyway. Played behind the net by Wallace. To the outside. He'll enter the track. Blomquist.
Wallace is looking that puck wasn't taken away by Nelson.
Denise stood up. Big shoulder check by Matt Wallace.
Looked like a linebacker right there.
Clemson, they're a big team. They have multiple guys. 180 plus pounds, 6'2", 6'3". They are not afraid right there. Nathan Washington smashed. Takes a high stick. No call coming. The wall of defense, though, from the Ice Eagles. And you see that right there. They just had 4 forwards in a line and a defenseman. Looks like the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, it looks like a power play line, too, with more than 3 forwards on there.
Nathan Walker, nice move. Alamian played it off his leg and couldn't finish the sewer.
Could have spun it around and made it 6-0.
Nathan Walker, another dangle. It's on the goal line. They all jam away. And a late whistle comes as an FGCU player has his helmet off. That was a dangerous dog pile. There's a Clemson player also sitting down.
Yeah, Nate Walker's the guy with his helmet off.
Good to see the leading scorer for the Ice Eagles skate away unharmed. Palacio, Johnson, and Lyson will come on. And Clemson will make some more changes as well. 10:39 to go. Of course, we talked about almost all of the divisions, every division in play today. Alabama and Auburn getting set to drop the puck at 2 p.m. Georgia and Tampa follows at 3:15. And AC/DC, Florida State. How about that Florida State team? They could have played an M3 this year, taking on Embry-Riddle. They're the 6th seed in AC/DC, but a lot of people are picking them as the favorite. Jailbreak, poke check. Here comes with speed to the net. Backhand, stopped by Riccardi.
That's what makes B.J. Riccardi so good. He knew it was coming, and he blocked it anyway. Oh, my goodness. Looks like Andre Vasilevsky from the Tampa Bay Lightning right there.
Wow. That was Matas Kurta. Looked like with the opportunity of a lifetime, and Can't find pay dirt. I don't know if BJ Riccardi, I don't want to give him, and there's a penalty, by the way, on FGCU. It'll be Mason Jerkovich going to the box. This is going to be the 6th power play of this game for Clemson. They have had nothing going for them.
Yeah, 0 for 5 on the power play and not a single goal in the game. And with 10.5 to go, that window's starting to look even smaller. So if they want any sort of life left, they have to score on this power play. Otherwise, I think we all know what's going to happen.
And gobbled up. No contest for Riccardi. 10:14 is left, and a lot of roughing calls today, I will add. And what's a playoff game? Pretty typical stuff. Another face-off win. Nathan Walker caught by Alamian. Wanted to look for Jack Lee shorthanded, and he just let it float into the deeper part of the trapezoid. Matt Wallace. Gus Hedrick to the outside. Stopped by Wainman. Alamian to contest them. Matt Wallace holds. Takes the shot. Rebound for Riccardi. Unable to jam it home was Hedrick. From the far post, they play hack stick. That is shoveled off. And a conversation will ensue.
That's all you could say. The great wall of BJ Riccardi, just in front of him, behind him, next to him, below him, above him. If the puck's coming his way, he's probably going to block it.
Just this absolute dynamo out of Tampa, Florida. They found a good one here in Riccardi, Craig Gerstecki. Technically, their backup tonight was Preston Arndt, according to head coach Malcolm Cameron.
Yeah, and the way I see it, looking physically down right now, not only is BJ Riccardi playing a phenomenal game, but he's also got a phenomenal head of hair.
Right? I mean,
look good. Hey, look good, feel good, play good, right?
That's beautiful stuff. We can appreciate a little bit of lettuce. I can't.
Course.
I am, well, the opposite of having lettuce. You got a nice lock there. I'll give you that, Mr. Shirilla.
Having something is beautiful, to say the very least.
Doing a great job this playoff weekend. Cam Shirilla, Devin Sarah with you. Our producer, Whit Maxwell, and cameraman Danny Bohm for the quarterfinal. Floating off coast. Just to kill off 37 more seconds on this power play.
And
Clemson player went down at the half wall, Chait. Cam, I mean, you don't want to see any more of this, but that was a big collision on this half board. And I think they're going to possibly send someone here.
And Jack Lee's skating out, going to talk to the officials, and actually it looks like Jack Lee's going to be the one getting into the booth, or into the penalty box. So Jack Lee joins his buddy, Mason Jerkovich, and for 31 seconds, it's going to be 5-on-3 for Clemson, and then 5-on-4 power play. But for the next 2.5 minutes, it's going to be an overall Clemson power play. So make that the 7th add-on to the 6th power play, essentially.
Don't say that number. I know what you're thinking. You don't have to say those two numbers.
I know you think that I'm thinking that, and trust me, I'm not.
You don't have to. It's
it
okay.
adds on
it's
to
okay.
the power play for Clemson, and we'll see if they can take advantage of this 5-on-3.
Not before Alamian blocks it down. That was Ralston. That is an unselfish play. It's a 5-0 game, 8:33. And they're blocking shots like it's lunchtime. Beautiful. Ralston. Power first one is over. Here comes Jerkovich. We're back to 5-on-4. Getting held there for a second was Ralston. Intercept. And a clear the length of the ice. Out to play it is A.J. Faris. Sully Kopp will take over. Clemson has been snake bit all game. Kopp will take a lap with it. Pass 3 defenders to the outside. Hassled by Campo. Pressed once, then twice. They jam away at the kick plate. and it floats out of the zone. The captain Govea to retrieve. Missed Ralston. Matas Kurta was there. But FGC will take the send back. Here comes Sean Keane with speed. Through center. Past one defender. Met by Arndt. Or rather, Miller. And with lane to clear is Daniel Leisen. And more of the same for an FGCU penalty kill that looks absolute 5 stars right now.
It's 7.5 minutes to go and 22 seconds left on the power play. And yeah, Florida Gulf Coast just not letting up. And Clemson almost looks, in a sense, defeated. They've been unsuccessful on all of their power play attempts thus far, including this one. And they just have no answer for this aggressive Florida Gulf Coast attack. And it's impressive
7.
Florida Coast defense.
Alami and jailbreak out of the kill to the net, saved by Faris. Palacio follows him up. Banged at, takes the check, fights through it. Jerkovic with one more. Faris will glove it down.
Alaman looked a little too nonchalant on that breakaway, but a great attempt nonetheless. And now we got some pushing and shoving going on right by the Clemson net.
I believe that's a sign that FGCU knows it might be inevitable to moving on to the semifinal. Saturday, 4 teams will play, spread out throughout the day, and then Sunday, our championship at 1 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the College Hockey South YouTube channel. 3 live streams going all at once, Cam. This has been a monumental task. Credit to all of the media staff involved for this great weekend.
Yeah, it's been busy, but it's been fun. Clemson with a shot here.
Here's Blomqvist. Oh, great back check by Jerkovic. Took away the scoring chance. And now FGCU creates their own. Off the floor, he races. Left side, Langenrich, a lane to shoot over top of the goal.
Wow.
Skipper spindles down to the ice. Slammed is Denise by 2 Clemson defenders. It's steered away by Faris and net. Skipper through his crease. That one went right under his legs through the blue paint. Cousineau from the point, saved by Faris. Langenrich loses his footing, might have got tripped. It floats towards the netminder, and Faris now melt it all down. 5:41 left in the third. And Cam, what's the next game that you have for us? Yourself personally. I'll have to look at the schedule.
I mean, yeah.
I know I've got number 1 seed Tampa against number 8 Georgia on the women's bracket. That is going to be, nothing's impossible. You know, the miracle on ice happened, but
hey,
Tampa's
possible.
heavy favorites in that.
Yeah, the UTampa women's team has been incredible this year. We just saw South Carolina take down South Florida, and we can see what the other team from the Tampa Bay area can do.
Give props to Lizzie Penigen, great co-host on the College Hockey South podcast. Broke down kind of all of the women's division this weekend, and there's some fun matchups. Florida and Clemson to look forward to. An Iron Cup rematch with Alabama and Auburn.
And right now, the third Saturday in October is going on, the consolation game between Tennessee and Alabama.
That one might just be wrapped up by now. 5:06 left in this third. A tie up at the half wall in Clemson's zone. Cuts free. The far wing. Wainman keeps it in. Far wing, handled by Delaney. To the middle. Wallace intercept on the passing lane. A breakout ensues. McCartney sticks aside the puck. Handled by Wainman. Up the boards. Man alone in the far wing with a chance for Reese through his pads. You know, despite this score, it's been 57 shots for FGCU. And we're approaching 50-plus save performance from A.J. Faris in net for Clemson. Leisen, another lane to the net. Takes the wrister. That one looks like it was deflected by Colby Carey on defense for Clemson.
A little too wide on that shot as well.
Palacio Deck to the ice. Lizen from the air. One more try. This hemming play sails over the cage and off the glass. FGCU putting it on in this third period. Just one goal in the frame. They have absolutely controlled things. This will be one to watch on film.
Yeah, ever since the second period of this game, it has just been complete domination. First period, it was 1-0. Bit of a slow start, but good defense on both teams. But when the second period's puck drop, it's been all Eagles.
And we'll let you know about the bracket later on today. M3 still undecided. I don't believe there's a reseed during the semifinal. Still 3 more games to go in M3, obviously. The next one, Kennesaw State and USF. South Florida.
Which is set to be
South
a good
Florida.
one.
It's a little food for thought. Miller to the net. Low pad stopped by Faris.
2:50 to go. 5-0.
Johnson from the point makes a try. Rebound given up. Legenrich loses his footing. Couldn't get his own shot off. He's hounded by DeBartolomeo. Miller pressed by Dumais. Behind the goal. Got it free. Backhand try. And getting the early whistle.
Oh!
And way out of the play. Skipper just got thrown out of the low slot by Gus Hedrick. And I believe they're going to put Hedrick in the box for that.
As he's giving them a stare down. Just went behind him and essentially shoved him down. A little uncalled for, if I do say so myself.
Langenrich asserting what the score is to the Clemson bench. High five. Oh, wait, we got to do that better. Ready?
There we go.
Not great, but I think they heard it.
Third time's a charm? That's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, we got it.
Even if my hands are a little dry.
You know, my right arm is really hurting right now. I might have a pinched nerve. Not from that high five, but just in general. So that really stung me.
And my left hand is rather dry because of the coldness in here. I might need to apply some lotion on it.
It's a chilly barn.
It
the
is.
den rink's the worst. The third rink on the far wing where you have kind of a new ice sheet really constructed. The stadium's warmest. This one's middle.
And then the coldest is all the way over there, yeah. If you spend enough time there, you'll probably get those crusty knuckles.
Yeah, luckily we don't have any games over there. Great guys from Florida Southern covering that side on these neutral broadcasts for College Hockey South playoffs. Also credit to Florida Atlantic covering the stadium rink. You catch those games all weekend. Look out. Into the Clemson bench it goes.
Almost looks like one of the officials got hit in the head with the puck.
That's why you wear the bucket.
Not to call me by surprise. He looks unfazed, though. Attaboy.
It's good to see they're okay. These guys get a lot of work, Cam. They're going to have 5 games today on this mezzanine rink.
Yeah, talk about a busy resume, huh?
If you want a resume, this is the tournament to do it.
Yes, it is.
Cousineau. Fake the shot. Defended by Govea. Cut it deeper into the zone. Miller hooks past defenders. Whips it to Cousineau. Left side. Skipper. Negated by Wallace. Cousineau with a drive to the net. Puck was knocked out of play by Govea's stick. 1:08 good to go, and their FGCU power play. Gus Hedrick was in the box. No love lost between these two teams. But FGCU, it was their day from start to finish. And if you're wondering about our shot totals in this game, boy, obviously a lot to a little. Officially, 55 of 60 for A.J. Faris in net. And for B.J. Riccardi, he's faced 29. And they're going to send a Clemson player here.
Yeah, Denise is actually clapping, kind of taunting over at the Clemson bench.
I believe they just sent Oliver Grinkin to the locker room. So that'll effectively end his game tonight. Clemson looks like they're going to the consolation bracket. There will be a 7th place game and a 5th place game.
Indeed so.
So every team at playoffs guaranteed 2 games this weekend, Cam. Love to see that. Guys get more action. And
yeah, get more action, get more reps. And like we talked about before, for the people covering those games, more stuff for their reel, more stuff for their resume. Whether you're doing play-by-play, color, ringside reporting, it's all good stuff for your resume.
So Grinkin officially picks up a misconduct. The explanation coming to head coach Casey Brown. And despite this loss and Clemson getting outplayed in this game by FGCU, just credit to them for a great season, rebuilding this program. We didn't know what they would look like after a season and a half ago. And they have stamped themselves as a solidified program and healthy in College Hockey South.
Completely agree, as now we've got 2 guys in the box for Clemson. So, as if things couldn't get any worse for the Tigers, Florida Gulf Coast is just piling them on.
5th power play of the game for FGCU. They scored on 1 today from Jack Lee. My only thing with that live scoring mark, got to have power play goals on there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what our job's for. We can still track it manually. Jerkovich, last chance.
And
on AJ Fariz.
Florida Gulf Coast is basically going to stay on the power play for the rest of the game, and now we have a whistle.
And they're actually saying there are 4 guys on the ice. They were supposed to have 3 there because. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's too many men. It's a 5-on-3 for FGCU, and 4 men. You got too many men on the ice for Clemson. Can't be doing that.
Just a mental error. Linesman picked it up right away.
As we got a minute and 25 seconds left in the game. 56 seconds left on the 5-on-3. And a minute 48 seconds left on the overall power play, but that time is more than the time left in the game. So essentially that doesn't matter because either way, Florida Gulf Coast is going to remain on the power play for the remainder of this game. So it's Clemson not doing themselves any favors, and if anything, Florida Gulf Coast is just making themselves look even better right now.
Cousineau, handoff for Denise. Hooks away from defenders. He'll cycle it. Low to high, but out of the zone it floats. Good pursuit by Colby Carey. Jerkovich on the far wing.
Looks like we have a delayed penalty as BJ Riccardi's leaving the net.
Yet another one. But it was already in hand that they'd have a power play the rest of the game. So they're just going to kill off time, and we'll see what kind of the Eagles do with the puck here. They might just hold on to the puck, and that'd be the right thing to do.
Yeah, they might just go back and forth, just passing it off.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Good thing to do for Malcolm Cameron and company. They'll let the Clemson guys, at least one of them out of the box, and Hedrick will go to the bench. But it was all FGCU today. It was started by Ryan Alamian. Jack Lee with 2 goals and an assist to his name. And followed up by Daniel Leisen. And finished off with Nathan Walker.
And a huge collision at the ice.
And here we go. They got more shoving. Palacio just took off his helmet, got it shoved out. They're going to push those guys away. FGC, got to be careful here not to pick up anything after. But it is a 5-0 win for the Ice Eagles. They're going to send that Clemson player off. That's Matt Franco. The Ice Eagles. And a 29 save shutout for BJ Riccardi. Win. And they're going to the semifinal.
Just an unbelievable time if you're a Florida Gulf Coast fan. A 5-0 win in dominant fashion. And this Eagles team is looking to be dangerous.
The number 3 seed in this tournament takes care of Clemson, who played, like you said, 2 games within 12 hours of each other. Finished up last night against Vanderbilt with a 4-3 win, but they're winners bracket run will end here. Meanwhile, Florida Gulf Coast moving on to the semifinal. They'll await the winners of Kennesaw State, USF, Tampa, and South Carolina, and MTSU and UCF.
I mean, you got to give credit to Clemson, though. Despite how tired they have been and despite their performance, they still gave it their all. You got to give kudos to the Clemson Tigers. But the victorious team today is the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. And thank you very much, Devin, for having me on with you. It's been an absolute pleasure calling games. We called that USF FAU game back in January. And here we are calling Florida Gulf Coast and Clemson, and I've had such a blast. I appreciate you very heavily. And, hey, we're in for a great weekend from hockey from here on out.
Well, thank you, Cam. That means a lot for you to say that. And a couple of breaking and breakthrough alumni. Shout out Rich Howenberg for all of the mentorship for us. And, whatever happens the rest of your tournament, good luck. Hopefully we'll cross paths on broadcast. But that's going to do it for us. For our producer, Whit Maxwell, our cameraman, Denny Bohm, and Cam Sharilla. My name is Devin Serra. Thank you for watching this presentation of the College Hockey South Playoffs. Final score, FGCU 5, Clemson 0.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a good one.